But I think if we can, we'll start this off with a little prayer first. And if I could ask Betty Jo Lindsay to lead us in prayer. 24th of April, 1865, at Louisville, Tennessee. That was in Winston County. He was married to Nancy Elizabeth Burns on the 5th day of July, 1889, at Altus, Arkansas, Franklin County. On his death, the 18th of November, 1951, he was 86 years, 6 months, and 24 days old. He'd been married for 62 years, 4 months, and 13 days. He was the father of 10 children, 3 of which is still living. One is here with us today.
You know all who I am, I think. I went by Lynn Heffington for many years, but today I'm Lindsay Heffington. Do you like that? Yeah. My wife Hazel is here with me. Would you come over, honey? We were married in 1945, and believe it or not, we're still together. We have 2 wonderful sons that are here with us today. John Heffington and his wife Jody and our 2 grandsons. This is Donnie Jr., the little one, and this is John Heffington, the little one. He's the boss. And I have another son here. His wife wasn't able to come in today, but he's here. Joey Heffington, would you come up, please? Joey has, and his wife have another son. It's really a character. He's not here today. My problem with his family is rather short. My wife and I stopped at 2 boys. It's not working, is it?
There it is.
Okay. I talk a lot, and you know, I wear a hearing aid, and most of you people can hear me anyhow, I think. I tell you what I'm going to do now. If you guys got pictures of us, like you want, I'm going to let my sister Jean take over.
It's only our team.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Jean.
I'm Era Jean Heffington. I'm really glad to be here today. This is a wonderful, wonderful occasion, and I'm really grateful to the people that have put it on. But the people that put it on didn't do it all. We who came here also put it on. Anyway, my husband is with me here today. Phil, you got to send it too. By looking at us, I thought we should tie ourselves together. You know, we went together, so we had our matching jackets. We was married in 1946. We've been married a little over 45 years, going on 46 years. We've had 2 children. We had a daughter, and we have a son. And our son lives pretty near us, about a half an hour's drive, in the little town of Mayer, Arizona. By the way, we lived in Phoenix for about 24 years, and the rest of that 45 years we've lived in Black Canyon City, Arizona, which is about 35, 40 miles north of Phoenix. And we make a living by working. We did a lot of work in this last 45 years. But anyway, our son lives in Mayer, and he's a single parent. He has 2 children. He has a 15-year-old son and a 10-year-old daughter. And about 2.5 to 3 years ago, his wife decided she wanted to go free. And she went free, and he's a single parent. And our daughter was married for 20 years. Her husband was a highway patrolman. And she had a stepdaughter who is now married and has 2 little children, little boys. 3 and 4, I believe, is their age. Boy, my mouth's getting dry. Anyway, they live in Black Canyon City, and her husband lives in Black Canyon City, and her daughter lives in Black Canyon City. Her own daughter is 16. She's a junior in high school. And in February 8th, 1990, she was killed in a tragic accident on a horse. The horse ran away, and she was killed instantly. It's been real hard last 2 years for us, but we are making it. And we're remembering her as we go along. And we're trying to do and live our lives the way she lived hers, and she would want us to live. And she was a great person for family. She was family oriented. And she was a Christian girl. We know where she's at today, and we feel her presence. And I do have some pictures with me. I have a picture of Grandpa and Grandma Lindsay's family, made in 1926 in Arkansas. And the family is it's all of their children, and the wives and husbands and their children. It's in front of a big old white house that's an Arkansas home. It's the way I visualize Arkansas. And I have also with me a couple of pictures of my daughter and her family, if anybody would care to see those before you leave today. I'd love to show them to you. And I guess that's about all about our family. Oh, David says he would love to have been here, but he just couldn't make it. And it's all about our family. Now, the next one in our family was W.T. And since I don't know if you know, W.T. passed away at age 67, I believe it was, a couple of years ago. When he was born, he wasn't supposed to live, but he lived to age 67. And that's the mention of W.T. And now I think the next one in line that is here today in our family is Jewel. Ruby Jewel.
That's a hard act to follow. All the way down from Ole and Bob and any of the Zacharys that came up and introduced Little Hazel and James and my brother Dan and Jean. Had I been asked to come up here and perform today, I would have done a little dance. I said to my husband, Jim, I'm going to introduce you now. Come up with me. Before I get carried away with dancing.
Tell them where you danced.
My husband, Jim, we grew up here in this little town of Chowchilla. And when Jim came home from the service, we met. my brother Lynn had married Hazel, who is my husband's sister. So his two sons that came forward are our children's double cousins. And I want to say that I am so proud of all my brothers and sisters, each and every one of them, and I'm so proud of their families. And I'm also proud of all my cousins, and all my aunts and uncles that might not could have been here today. And I'm getting a little dry mouth too. So next I'm going to ask.
How about your children?
The children, I am. We have our oldest son who's 41, my husband, and he couldn't be here. But he has a daughter that's here. She came with the next child from my This is Sarah Green, Ron Green's oldest daughter. And what a wonderful little girl she is. Then I'd like to ask, is it Susan that comes next? Oh, Matt is her brother. Matt is 10 years old, and he is playing 3 soccer games today. That's why his dad and mother couldn't be here today. I think most of you have all gone through this with raising children. And he sent his love and his regards to everybody. Now I would like for my daughters, Susan Green Sherblon.
I found the Lord when I was 12 years old at First Baptist Church here in Chowchilla. But through the years, he's grown dearer and dearer to me. And I'm sure that I'm a little dear to him, I hope. But I had my speech all made before I came in here today. And I was going to tell you that on October 20th, 1930, in Geronimo, Oklahoma, a baby girl was born to Ruby Dell and William Tommy. The Lord took over and carried our burdens and let us rest. And I praise him this afternoon for that. I'm so happy to see my Uncle Joe here that I haven't seen for so many years. Several years ago, when my son was doing construction work in Ione, he ran onto a boy that he really liked. And one day they were sitting with their backs to a building, eating their lunch, and for entertainment they were talking about the funniest name they ever heard. And the boy said, "I think Chowchilla is a funny name." And my son said, "Hey, watch what you say about Chowchilla. My mother's from there." And the young man said, "My dad's from there." So as they talked, they found out they were cousins. And Michael came home that night so excited. He said, "Mother, guess what? I found a cousin." And that was Joel Lindsay. Is he here today?
He's supposed to know that he hasn't got here yet.
All right, that was Joel. Joel has been in our home, and you couldn't want a more lovely boy, if I can use that expression, than Joel. And so when I got the letter saying that there was going to be a reunion like this, I thought, isn't that wonderful? Now we'll get to find all of our other cousins. I've been a teacher now for 35 years. I teach in the public schools, 5th grade. I've tried to make a difference, and I hope I have in some small way. But now I want to introduce to you my husband. I met him just before I went away to college. 5 years later, I married him. We've been missionaries to Korea. My husband is a retired college professor and also an ordained minister in the Baptist church. We were married for many years and had no children, and it grieved my heart because I came from a big family and the rest of my family all had children. So we applied for adoption. And wouldn't you know, it's just like God. He just dropped the 2 most beautiful children from heaven into our arms. And our oldest son, Michael, come here, honey, is here with us today. Would you believe I could carry him in my housecoat pocket when he was born? We have 2 other children, Cynthia Elaine Haynes Barton, and she could not be here today. She works for Congressman Doolittle in Roseville, and could not be away. Our youngest daughter, Lisa Joy, that I had when I was 37 years old, is with a political consulting firm in Sacramento, and she could not be here either. I can't call up any beautiful grandchildren. I wish I could. But we do have a little dog named Sam. And I thank all of you for coming. I just want to talk to each one of you and hug you and say, let's hope this is not the last time we see each other. Families are dear. Not really. We just have a thing going.
She tries to convince me that I'm older than she is, but everybody can tell by watching her walk. Well, I feel like an old pro. This is my second time up here with Mike, so I'm Billy Joe Heffington, and I was born in a little town in Oklahoma to a bunch of hungry mouths too, like my older sister. I grew up here in Chowchilla, and I went to the schools here in Chowchilla, and really I graduated. I got my report cards out the other day, and I don't know how I did, but I did graduate. I served about 20 years in the service and retired. I sold real estate for a while, and I didn't retire. I went to work for the school district, and I worked for them until I was eligible to retire from them, and I'm a man of leisure now. I met my wife while I was in school here, and in 1951 we were married. And Nina, would you come up? She was a local beauty queen.